got the 4. On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. And this is going to be intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. Here's a give to Barkley. And he'll get this one up to the 26. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Leopard. Leopard.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And now running right through it. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Black 99 Philly, here we go. Leopard, Leopard. All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Detroit, Detroit. All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
They'll try the air now with Watson. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards on the play. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford. But first, this timeout. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
The toss out to Barkley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
No. Check. Patriot. Gun.
On third down, Barkley. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. First trip to the red zone for the Giants. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Barkley, toss play left, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
All right, now, lucky 56.
A handoff to Barkley. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and all of a sudden here it's third down. Well, we know he's an electric runner. Earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to bottle him up at different levels. That was your suggestion. Some mixed results.
Yeah, certainly, because we have seen him bottled up at times. We've seen him play him very well. We've also seen him pop the cork a few times and get out of there, haven't we?
We have indeed. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. And this one is right through. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And now out comes Minnesota. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
14. Check 51.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. On second down, Wilson flushed out right. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field. He's got a man, complete. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation.
To the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he whips that one incomplete there. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Here's Wilson to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him.
Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the third quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
Tell me.
that's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Check, Patriot! Patriot! Gone!
Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Give him 30 yards there. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll go to Barkley again. Still staying on his feet. Are you serious? And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
A first down carry for Barkley. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Back to 99 Philly, here we go!
Now Saquon Barkley. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to bring up a third down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
To throw is Watson. Being chased out left. We'll get this out to Barkley complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Now we've got a Giant player here slow to get up after that last play. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's in the cornerback position.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Man, and we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Now Watson to throw on third down. This Minnesota D up to the task on the third down pass play.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So So they come away from this opening drive of the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, and that has to be job one, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
And now out comes Minnesota. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now with a gain.
Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Wilson. And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. The Vikings on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. From the gun, it's Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
No. Check. Patriot. Leopard. Watch him now, Barney. Gun.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Again, it's Barkley. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on second down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on third down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
3rd and 2, Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Mike Hughes. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sideline, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
Front left.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. And that is incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
The Vikings on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. From the gun, Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. New York set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Detroit! Detroit!
To throw on second is Watson. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Daniil Hunter in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Third and long, it's Watson. Dancing to his left. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
After the loss to start out, here's second and 11. Now Wilson on second down. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. Third down, Dalvin Cook. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
And the kick by Rosas is good. And they take the lead here as it's now 9-6. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 34. And this return's going to go backwards about 8 yards, but the interception is good, and they have the football. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
To throw is Wilson. To throw on second down. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
The Vikings on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 8.
14.
And with the play clock reading 4, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. The Vikings on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 8.
14. Gun.
Operating from the gun. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. I'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
And now out come the Giants. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run it again with Barkley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. Wilson looking to throw on 2nd down. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
Here's Wilson. Left side caught by Diggs. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Give him 6 on the play, and it's a 2nd down.
14. 14.
Wilson to throw. And Cook has it left side. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It'll be a gain of 4. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Now Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster. Here's Michael Pilardi now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And the Giants ready to come out now. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Here's Watson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they get the stoppage with a little left to go in the game. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you describe that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Oh, and you can forget overtime. This is going to be a safety in the final minute of the game. Oh, my. Gosh, this game's felt a bit weird all along the whole way through, and no better play maybe exemplifies that weirdness than that safety right there.
Partner, you've got a tie game and time running out. You've got to be ultra careful down on that end of the field.
Good, but the lead is just 2, so any mistake in a field goal can beat you. They got to be careful.
And that's where it gets difficult, because you don't want that to leak into your thinking. You want to play like, hey, we've got the advantage. We can close this out. Don't play from fear, and they can win this game.
See if they can play fear-free and hang on. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game.
Let's go get it, baby. Let's go. Oh.
They run it again with Cook. It'll go as a gain of 9, and that should write an ending to this one.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
The return of Cook, a big boost to this Viking offense. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. Wilson wants to throw it. He sets to fire deep. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from MetLife Stadium.